On today's show, we find out if Masterful 27 is 100% moved. PoGoMiloUK is taking a week off, but is still here. We find out whether Coops can answer a question without giving multiple answers.
Probably not.
And we find out whether I finally identify as English again after being in America for the last 2 weeks. Welcome back to Incensed, episode 108. And boys, that's it. The divisive Hoenn tour is finally done. And we'll talk about that later. But now it's time to enjoy the game and a new season. The season of Rising Heroes. How you doing?
Doing alright, thanks very much, mate. I've been having like the sort of last week off. Just relaxing. It's been a mad February. Obviously, we did in Vegas. The global Hoenn tour we're going to discuss tonight, and I think a bit of a rest was overly deserved. What about the rest of you guys?
Nice.
I moved in 100%.
100%. You've left the van behind because you grew very attached to that van.
Van life, weekend van life. Not the van life most people associate with van life, but yeah, I did enjoy being slightly more elevated. But now I've ripped it away. In it's an expensive.
You're a rising hero in that van
for a weekend.
Good man, I like it.
But no, all done. Oh.
GG's.
It's a short one, don't worry.
And Coops, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I don't actually know if I've told you lot, but when this episode is released, I'll be in France doing some skiing, boys.
Ooh.
Have I said that?
You haven't.
You actually haven't, no.
I like to keep the odd secrets from you three, Why not?
But I know you can go and get Klefki up a mountain, mate.
There's one thing I will not be doing on my weekend away is playing Pokemon Go, especially not in this season. But anyway, Ian, how are you, my other rising... Is it hero or star? What is it?
Rising Hero.
Rising Hero.
Yeah.
I'm good. Ready for tonight. We've got a lot to go through because March finally hit... And yeah, it's no surprise that they dropped this
depression
information at the last minute.
Hit the Great Depression.
Yes.
The Rising Heroes is a bit ironic given how dead the season is.
The season is awful. It really is. But we'll speak to you next week. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. What is it? There'll be no recordings for the next month until April.
3 months.
If only we could get away with being that irregular. We haven't missed a show yet since we launched. But anyway, it's that time for you too.
Pop your incenses, champions. Let's go.
And let us know if you get anything of substance on our growing socials. So TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Campfire, you name it, WhatsApp. Send it however you want to using the hashtag Shinies of the Week.
Clarify the spelling.
That's hashtag SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. And now, into the body of the show.
And now, children, it's time for Getting to Know You with the Incensed podcast.
Nice, simple question, and it comes from a place of love. Now, we all know that the four of us all love travelling to varying degrees. Coops is going skiing. You know what? We all like travelling, but one thing I'd like to know today is, what is one, Coops, that's one, not a list of, European country that you would like to either visit for the first time or revisit again?
Ian, I really like this question. It's probably like one of my most favourite questions that you've ever asked. I'll be honest, I've been to some really, really, really amazing places in Europe. I guess I've been quite lucky with life in general.
Nice.
Okay, I'm going to do a Coops answer. Can I pick one that I'd revisit and one that I'd like to go to? Can we do that?
I'll let you, but that wasn't the question.
Yeah, I know it wasn't. That's why I politely asked you, Ian Waterfall.
I even wrote it in the show notes, one.
Yeah, one.
Okay, fine.
In capital letters.
And it's in bold as well, isn't it? Capital, bold, underlined.
Yeah.
It's like double underlined.
Yeah, I really messed that one up. No, okay, so a country in Europe or a place in Europe that I would love to go to is... this. Do you know what? Yeah, this is really embarrassing because this is somewhere where me and my missus talk about. I don't actually think it's in Europe, but there's one place. But there's one place. Wait, let me check. Let me do Google Maps first. Wait. Iceland.
Brazil.
Is Iceland in Europe? Is it?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Oh, thank God. See, if there's one place that I'd love to go to, it's Iceland. Like I said, me and my missus, of course, I'm sweating. I had a hot flush. No, but me and my missus, we talk about it. Obviously, is it Northern Lights and that there? And like I said, the
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, the amazing, you can go to like these amazing sort of like pools outside and sort of, what are they called? Kind of like baths.
Geysers.
Yeah. And it's always looked quite romantic. So yeah, that's a place at the moment in my life I would pick. And obviously, I'm not allowed to answer the revisit one, so we'll move on to Marky Boy.
Just like to say, if you looked out your windows on Monday this week, you'd have seen the Northern Lights down here in the southwest. It was pretty much everywhere.
They came down super far south, didn't they?
They flipping did. But no, Coops, I'm pleased you picked somewhere in Europe. That's always a good start, I think, when you're answering a question.
Because Europe is in bold and highlighted as well.
I was going to go for somewhere I'd been before, but I think it should be somewhere different. I think that's something. I have mentioned Iceland in the past. It's certainly a country I'd like to go to. But I was recently shared. It was on TikTok initially, but they've got a YouTube channel, and it's about a couple that live up in an area called Svalbard. Svalbard, I think it's pronounced Svalbard. And Svalbard is an island or a group of islands which is north of Sweden. So it's quite far north. It's parallel to Greenland, and it is one of the most it's the most northerly populated islands on the planet. And they basically put it looks picturesque. They've got like really nice fancy place they've built there. The shops there. There's obviously there's like a population there. But like, I like the idea that people, like when they're walking around, have a gun with them because polar bears might attack them. It's that sort of cross element between having civilization, also being in the wild. I like the idea of going somewhere completely different. And I love Northern Europe. So I will pick Svalbard, Ian. Svalbard is actually part of Norway. It is directly above Sweden, but it's part of Norway. Sorry, Norwegians. It's yours. No one's probably going to have heard of it.
So we've got two of the Nordic places. Whitfield, what about you, man?
So the choices are both excellent, but
Thanks.
somewhere I think, and it's a very different reason, purely because there is a fantastic driving road in this country, and I love a road trip, I would pick Romania for the Transfiguration Highway up in the mountains. And having done some road trip bits and pieces and seen some amazing roads, I would love to give it a blast on a sunny day. It would be sensational. Plus, I'm sure there are other bits of Romania that would be worth seeing. That would be my pick. But what about Waterfall?
My answer is probably going to come as no surprise.
If you're about to say it was in a James Bond film, I swear.
I actually am.
Oh my God.
So over the years, this country has featured in many James Bond films, and it's such a varied and beautiful country. And one country I've never been to. So I would like to go to Italy.
Okay.
Oh God, I remember you telling me that you'd never been to Italy. And
I've never been to Italy, and then you've obviously got the south, like the Matera and that sort of beautiful area, and then the Sardinia and Venice. Just so much to this country, and it's a country I have never in all of my years visited. So I would actually love to go to and visit multiple parts of Italy.
Good choice, Ian. Italy's beautiful.
So while Mark is frantically typing away on his phone, let's get into tonight's news.
It's the news.
So the news is quite big. It's going to be a big part of tonight's show, and we start with, a new season, the season of Rising Heroes. And we're going to talk about this new season soon. We're going to start by looking at the upcoming events that are coming in March.
Nice.
As you're listening to this episode, we will be in the midst, if you're not in Australia, of the Catch Mastery event. So we're going to gloss straight over that one. So the next event, which kicks off on March the 8th through to March the 14th, is the Festival of Colours event, which luckily enough, news has literally just hit as we started recording on this one, so...
Absolutely. As Ian has said, it runs from March the 8th to the 14th. That is 10 a.m. local time starting on the 8th, and it will finish at 8 p.m. local time on the 14th. Mega Medicham is coming to the game, so that will be another wild, evolved Pokemon that you can find as a shiny. That will be making its debut in the Mega Raid system. Mega Connoisseur, what do we think of this one?
It looks a bit wishy-washy for my liking.
That's
Don't
a different
talk
Pokemon
about that
altogether.
Pokemon.
Milo's nemesis.
It does look a bit odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks a bit flappy.
It gets a funky hat.
Marky,
say
to
that.
give you some bad news, I did watch a Pokédaxi video. Apparently it's terrible. Mega Medicham. Apparently it's really not good.
Noise.
But still a new Mega.
It gets it out of the way, probably similar to when Mega Camerat will arrive in the game, because obviously Primal Groudon is a thing, so why on earth you would use Mega Camerat, I don't know. This is very similar to some of the other Megas we've got in the game.
I think we'll just get a Mega Energy and leave that alone then.
Very much so. I'm hoping it's a cheap one.
But we have a new Pokemon debut, I believe.
We do.
A new Pokemon.
How I pronounce this, I don't know. Thank God we're not doing Chasing the Tail tonight.
I would say Brooksish.
Brooksish.
Yeah, I'd say Brooksish.
It's one hell of a funky looking fish. That's all I'm going to say.
It's like tie-dyed almost, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's right for the Festival of Colours. It's a grinning, funky, colourful fish from Gen 7.
It makes me laugh. Have you not read the description? It says Bruxish, that Nyash teeth Pokemon.
Nash teeth.
Nash teeth.
Interesting.
Mate, you lot know what Nyash is, don't you? It's Bunda. It's another word for Bunda.
Is it?
Bro, I'm not in Croydon, all
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah, it is.
But alongside of that, we've got something called Celebratory Colours, which, keep an eye out, trainers will find a colourful surprise around Pokestops as they walk close to them. What that is, we got no idea.
We'll find out next week, I guess. So the event bonuses for this one are lure modules activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Taking a few snapshots during the event will give us a surprise, so photobomb. But the best part is friendship levels will increase twice as quickly during this event.
I like that.
That's good.
And actually, if you look at the small print, it does say Shiny Smeargle in the small print.
I just saw it does says, if you're lucky,
Nice.
please note that Smeargle will only appear in snapshots for a limited number of times, while the shiny Smeargle will no longer appear after the event concludes.
So it says a few snapshots every day. As Mark will tell us, it's probably going to be 5 a day.
Be
Yeah,
5.
five.
Although they did increase it to 15, I think, when it was released.
And they did reduce it to 1 when Snorlax came out.
1.
Yes.
Horrendous. But I think it was last available for Johto Tour, quite depressingly, so it's been literally over a year.
And gents, if it's all right, I want to take this part of the show. We have got a collection challenge. Yay! So yeah, complete the collection challenge by the end of the event to earn 20,000 XP and a lure module.
Oh my god. So generous.
It can last for 3 hours.
Yep.
The wild encounters will be the following. Paras,
Crabby.
Coughing.
Natu,
Wobbuffet,
Shuckle.
Wingo.
Plant Cloak Burmy,
Sandcloak Burmy,
And Trash Cloak Burmy. They can all be shiny, as we know.
Yeah, you are right, Ian, and unfortunately these next two can't be. Very random why this one can't be, but Stunky.
and the new Pokemon for this event, Bruxish.
and if we're super, super lucky, we'll find Lickitung or Galarian Zigzagoon. So those are the wild spawns.
And ladies and gents, keep an eye out for Homeslice Henry's video on Bruxish in the Great League. I'm sure he will do one 2 hours after the event starts.
So you know I love a 1-star raid. Well, I might have moved house, but I'm still equally enthusiastic about them. And actually, it's a 50-50 split for me on this. I'm going to do it I'm going to be fair with it. So we've got Marini and Bruxish. Bruxish, which is available in the wild, and is kind of the featured Pokemon for this event. But if you do feel like you want to get a better one, go for it. Knock your socks off. 1-star raids. There you go. And Marini, wow, that's a lovely Pokemon. Yeah, do it. Brilliant. But Esper, I still need the shiny, like probably most do out there. Esper and Rockruff, still need some more of those shinies as well. They're good 1-star chases, those two are. So Esper and Rockruff. And I was being sarcastic. Don't spend your passes on Marini or Bruxish. Please don't.
I agree, Marky. Don't spend them on Marini, but what you can spend them on is 3-star raids. What
These
you
don't look any
can do,
better.
what you can do is
Who comes up with these at Niantic? Seriously.
Is you can save your passes and you can use them on these. So Pokemon that can't be shiny in your 3-star raids is Cryogonal, Executor. And then,
Why?
And then the ones that can be shiny is the Alolan Executor And Ian, you don't need this one anymore, but you can.
No, I've
also
got the
get,
shiny Drudigon finally. Yes,
is
Noise.
is Drudigon.
But it might pick up a little bit. 5-star raids brings back Ho-Oh.
nice.
Which isn't too bad.
That's all right.
You know,
That's okay.
people need to XL chase it, so I'll be doing that, I think. And then obviously Mega Medicham is in the Mega Raids, so everyone stay very clear of that. That'd be splendid.
Yes, and it wouldn't be a new event without some new field research tasks. And with these, okay, there's actually a couple of okay ones. I'll give it its dues. So, for field research tasks, you can encounter a lowland grimer, cast form, sunny cast form, rainy cast form, snowy cast form. I need 2 of those shinies. Plant Cloak Burmy, Sand Cloak Burmy, Trash Cloak Burmy, they can all be shiny. And then Bailey style Oricorio, Pomcom style Oricorio, Pal style Oricorio, and Sensu style Oricorio. I'm guessing they will be really dependent on the area that you're in.
It's safe to assume. And to finish off the article, unfortunately, Coops, they haven't said there's going to be stickers featured in this event.
But though, on the positive side to what you just said, this pose looks really dope. Like genuinely, this pose it actually could be the best one in the game.
It does look good.
Yeah, it looks very good.
I'm 100% getting this pose. It's good. Yeah. There's a new pose. It's called the Color Throw pose, and you're basically throwing a pile of rainbow coloured paint in the air.
Okay, question for you, Milo. You said you wanted this pose. What's the most Pokecoins you'd pay for it in the shop? Be honest.
500, like the standard.
You'd pay 5? Okay,
that's what a standard pose
costs. Oh, is it? I've never bought one. I've never bought one. I'd have no idea.
If they're going to suddenly make this pose like 1k coins or more, then hell no.
Oh, actually, I'm lying. I think I bought the Santa one for 500. Actually, I think I did. Yeah, I did. I'm sure I did.
Well, let's segue. So you would pay 500 coins for the pose. What are our thoughts about paying £4.99 for a new costume with this season special research?
I'm going to say paid time research. This is the one, isn't it? $4.99. Right, here we go.
That's it.
I'm going to say it right. I had to bite my tongue on Twitter. I saw this and I just went, and I'm going to say it as it is. They've just taken it too far now. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong. They could put the outfit in the shop and charge 500 coins for it, as we've just done, and people would probably pay for it, and no one would make a big deal about it.
Yeah, over time.
No one would make a big deal about it. But yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, for me, that was to me just going, that is desperate, isn't it? That is desperate times.
I can honestly say there's no way I'm paying that money for it.
No.
That's the thing. Is it for $4.99? What you get is like an exclusive move Melmetal, which will eventually be probably Elite TMable anyway.
That's what I was going to say. It's pointless because you can use, sorry to cut you off, but for me, a special move in my brackets here that I'm doing with my fingers, like, it's pointless because you've got Elite Charge and Elite Fast.
Yeah,
it's completely
not
redundant
available at the
now.
moment.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. Is like, this is a season-long research, so it's available to buy right through from obviously the 1st of March until the 1st of June. I still don't really care about dressing up as Professor Willow. Maybe there's somebody people out there will do. It's a bad bolt-on. That's how I'd view it.
I'm like you guys. Obviously, Ian, I don't know if you're going to say that you like it, but like to say what the other 2 lads have, like, it winds me up because obviously, like before an event starts, you get these miners and these people that can sort of dig into the system and they can sort of basically show you what you get. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'll pay for that for a £5. I looked at what you get. It was so bad, like, to the point where I don't even think it equals to a £5. like it's not even like, it was so bad. And I was like, why on earth would anyone pay for that? And this is what winds me up about this whole game. People will pay for everything. Just make it
FOMO,
good.
Isn't it?
That's all
That's
all you need to do. It's like this, the Masterwork research, the Wish Granted. I've not paid for that one. And it's a little bit like, the Willow's wardrobe for a £5. If they'd added in 50 XL candy or just something, I'd actually think about it. But it's at the point now where I agree with Mark. It's not even like laughable anymore. It's annoying.
What are you thinking?
I'm totally on the same page. It's unusual that we're all 4 on the same page, but I think it's an insult to expect people to pay £5 for this, or $8 or whatever it is. Do you need a costume that bad that you would spend that amount of money and then get it bit by bit over the next 3 months? I'm sorry. On March the 11th, Elite Raids are back. Now, this is where it gets a bit spicy in that we're going to get the release of 2 new Pokemon into Elite Raids.
Oh, yes.
Regieleki and Regidrago will be released. Now, I'm not sure which way they'll come round because we've got Elite Raids on the 11th and then we've also got them, I think, a month later or a few weeks later. So we'll get one 9th. Of each of these on each of those subsequent Elite Raid days. So that will be enough, I think, to get people out raiding for a new Reggie, because I think these are actually quite good.
They look good.
I didn't even know they existed. I just thought it was Reggie Ice, Reggie Rock.
They're Gen 8, that's why. So they're from Galar. But I don't know. I saw very loosely on social media somebody saying like that at the moment the moves don't work so good for PvP, but perhaps they could work for raids. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see
April
what
9th
actually
is the
gets
next
pushed.
batch of Elite Raids, so we'll get one on the 11th this month, then it's like 4 weeks until we get the next one.
I think we'll get Reggie Lecky first from what I've seen.
Yeah, because I think that's got the yellow sort of base around the egg, and then the red one is in April.
But definitely good to spice up those Elite Raids. It's about time.
It is. And speaking of spicing things up, on March the 18th, we have March's Community Day. Now, this was hinted at, and there was a lot of buzz in certain places on the internet that it might be this. And it's turned out today, it's been confirmed that the March Community Day will be for Slowpoke. But
Noise.
not just Kanto Slowpoke, we're going to get the release of the shiny for Galarian Slowpoke as well.
Ooh.
Which is a good shiny.
It is
Yeah.
like a
Fully
golden
gold
colour, isn't
shiny.
it? Yeah. So double shiny hunt on the Community Day, and this is one which has the bonus of triple catch XP. So anyone looking to boost up levels, drop an egg and take the most of it. Other bonuses for this one will be a double chance of trainers level 31 and above getting Candy XL, and 2 times Candy for catching Pokemon, as well as the usual 3-hour lure and incense. Photo bombs, 1 additional special trade for a maximum of 2 in a day, and 50% less Stardust for a trade. This is going to be Milo's favourite, another 2 till 5, although the nights are getting a little bit lighter now.
Yes, it won't be so dark, thankfully. But it's very much sticking with the 2 to 5 is a bit... I don't know how I feel about that. But this has got some people excited. It's the exclusive move that all the different versions will be able to evolve to get this move. Surf will be available on Kanto, Slowbro, Johto Slowking, then the Galarian versions of Slowbro and Slowking.
I thought I was getting Frenzy Plant.
If only.
I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I need to gather my thoughts.
Gather your thoughts.
Yeah.
My initial thought was this is going to be horrendous, but the fact that the Galarian is also getting released as a shiny, it's actually going to be quite a good little grind, I think. I just hope it isn't weighted in favour of Kanto.
The only other blessing is they have switched up the evolve requirements. So for Galarian, Slowking and Bro, I think you had to catch 32 poison types in order to evolve it, but now they switched that to psychic types because obviously Slowpoke is a psychic type Pokemon.
Which makes sense,
I thought
I
you were going
guess.
to say they got rid of the whole thing. That would make sense.
No. One thing that they haven't
Sadly
got
not.
rid of, they haven't got rid of the Community Day special research, so for $1 or equivalent, there is going to be a special research. Same old thing as usual. This one is called Slow and Slower.
Not really the worst name.
So we've also got the... Well, this has become quite a common thing with community days. We've got the 4-star raid battles. So Slowpoke and Galarian Slowpoke will appear in 4-star raids. These are in person, but the beauty and the bonus for completing 4-star raid battles is once you've successfully complete it, you will get spawned, and it says additional Slowpoke and Galarian Slowpoke, so both of them will appear around the gym that hosted the raid for 30 minutes. And as before, the shiny rate remains consistent, and that goes on till 10 p.m. So we've got time research, which focuses on Slowpoke and Galarian Slowpoke between 2 and 10, and you'll actually get King's Rocks as part of the rewards from those, which is useful, up to 4 of them actually, because you'll need them for doing the evolutions. And there's also field research, which will allow you to catch Slowpoke to earn rewards such as King's Rocks, Stardust, Ultra Balls, and more.
Nice.
Coops, go on, your favourite bit as well.
I'm so glad that you left this for me because I was getting a bit anxious that you were going to take this. But ladies and gents, boys and girls, lastly on the article of March's Community Day, we can get Slowpoke themed avatar items and stickers. Let's go. Savage season and all that. The following avatar items will be featured in the in-game shop during the event, and obviously they'll continue to be available after. You're going to get a Slowpoke hat and a Slowpoke tail shirt, which is actually quite good. And the stickers look quite cute. The stickers look quite Slowpokey, is all I'm going to say. So yeah, I said earlier, I'm not sure. I've had 2-3 minutes to gather the thoughts. I'm still not sure.
I don't think it's that horrendous. It is a mid-com day, but it would be horrendously bad if it was just the Kanto form. At least there's the Galarian in there with the new shiny. Then the move does bring interesting play for all 4 of the different evolves. And there is Mega Slowbro. If people really haven't got XL Candy, Mega Slowbro isn't too bad to utilise as a psychic type.
Until we started talking about it tonight, I didn't know it was Slowpoke. Until we started talking about it, I didn't see the announcements. As we were talking about it, I found out more about it. I like the fact it's got the Galarian. Is it Galarian version, did we say? The Galarian version. So, yeah, I'll be playing it. Yeah, definitely. We can play it, can't we? Yeah, 18th. So it's Saturday before Mother's Day in the UK. So, yeah, it doesn't impact that. So, yeah. So, in March, we're spoilt with some amazing 5-star raids. So, save these dates, everybody. As you're listening to the podcast, Incarnate Form Tornadus is currently in 5-star raids. So I know that was greeted with something other than, well, not seeing Ray Ray up there was a bit disappointing when I saw that appear. But anyway, that's myself. I'm sure there'll be people chasing the shiny for that one. March the 8th to March the 21st, fortunately for a lot longer window than Incarnate Form Tornadus, we've got Ho-Oh, which I think it's long overdue, Ho-Oh coming back into the game. It's
been a while since it's been in.
A good segment, 2 weeks there for Ho-Oh. And then we've got March the 21st to March the 28th. Incarnate Form Thunderous. These are the ones on the floaty clouds. We do just so people want to know. That can be shiny. And everyone's favourite legendary Lugia is back.
Number 1 raid counter for anything.
March the 28th to April the 10th. And of course, Lugia can be shiny. We also will have raid hours. And they pretty much follow the same pattern as the raid, 5-star raids. But on March the 1st, which has been and gone, so we're not going to bother reading that one out. But March the 8th, we've got Ho-Oh. March the 15th, we've got Ho-Oh. March the 22nd, we've got Incarnate Form Thunderous. And March the 29th, we've got Lugia.
Nice.
It's funny that, Marky. I might actually be raiding some Lugias and Ho-Ohs, so I'll make sure I invite you. Now talking about the mega raid. Sorry, Marky, I'm totally taking your connoisseur role. But from right now up until March the 8th, we have Mega Charizard.
Why?
Correct. March the 8th to the 21st, so a huge chunk of time then for Mega Medicham. And then from March the 21st until March the 28th is going to be Mega Venusaur with Hydro Cannon. And then this is a little bit weird to end off the month of March, but this is going to go from March the 28th until April the 10th. This is like really sort of in towards the middle of April. Bit of a random one, but it's going to end off with Mega Alakazam.
If you thought that selection was bad, just wait till you hear the Spotlight Hours. Oh my god, I think these possibly the worst Spotlight Hours we've seen ever. But they kick off okay. So March the 7th will be Eevee with 2 times candy for transferring Pokemon. So anybody who's been saving stuff after the Hoenn Tour weekends, you can finally bin all of your Pokemon. Eevee, of course, can be shiny. We won't be hearing that again for the rest of the month. Because the 14th of March is Rowlet with no shiny, and 2 times XP for evolving Pokemon. March the 21st is Litten that can't be shiny. That's a double dust catch-in Pokemon Spotlight Hour, so that might be the only one worth playing, really. And to end off, March the 28th will be Poplio with 2 times XP for catching Pokemon. I think that's the fewest shiny Spotlight Hours we've ever had in a month.
I think that's, yeah, it is. It's literally only one.
Now, finally, the research breakthroughs have actually switched a little bit after the whole season of whatever the hell it was called the last 3 months. I've genuinely forgotten. Research Pokemon will be 6 Pokemon in a selection. So there's Snorlax, Gibble, Furfrou, and Pinsir that can all be shiny. Not an amazing selection, I can't lie. And we've now got 1 extra that can't be shiny. Beforehand, it was only Gumi that couldn't be shiny. That's staying in the pool of Pokemon. But adding to that is Parasect. The only thing that crops in my mind as like a saving grace for Parasect is that it is a seriously boosted dust Pokemon. 3 years down the line of these research breakthroughs, having swapped out legendaries for normal Pokemon, they are very much in the garbage disposal at this point. But going from something that's been a long-standing aspect of the game is to something that actually cropped up finally, once again, on Pokemon Day, which was right at the very beginning of the month, the 27th of February. So, we can now encounter Gimmighoul. You may remember after Dratini Com Day Classic, we had the little Marvin the Alien-looking dude propping up with the gold Pokestops. He's back. back in Pokemon Go, and it's a link very much like Meltan was with Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. You now have to utilize Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and postcards to get the roaming form of Gimmighoul with a coin bag, and it runs a 30-minute sort of Incensed style thing.
Yeah, and if you move in, you get the regular spawns. If you're stationary, it's 1 every 5 minutes, so you'll get a grand total of 6.
So yeah, it functions very much like a regular Incense. Rather unfortunately, but you can actually evolve Gimmighoul into Goldingo, which is Goldengo, something like that, if you collect 999 Gimmighoul coins. So
yeah, that's a
it's
lot,
going to take a long time.
That is a lot.
It's a long time.
But you can send 1 postcard a day to your Switch, so you can get one of these boxes every day.
Indeed. And the other thing we'd say is it was very much like when Meltan dropped into the game in 2018. Was it 2018 or 2019? Something like that. You don't have to have your own Switch. If you have a friend in the community who has a Switch, you just need to link up via Bluetooth. It's in the settings. You can select the Switch device, and then you send a postcard from your postcard book. You don't lose the postcard, and it actually then gives people in Scarlet and Violet all the different patterns of Vivillon in there, so you can go and get the different patterns through that game. So it's quite an interesting link.
So question then, how many days if you did it every day, how many days to get the 999 to evolve?
A long time.
Yeah, it's difficult to say because you
Oh,
get
that's
more
a very
long
coins
time.
for throwing great or excellent throws. If you're throwing crap throws,
Okay,
you're going to get fewer coins.
And it's tiny as hell. You can't even see on the
It's
map.
very
can you?
tiny,
It's so
yeah.
small.
You can get more gold coins when you hit better throws on Gimmighoul. So if you
Incensed,
get
yeah.
excellence on it, you do get more coins, yeah, which is okay. And you do get them from gold stops very occasionally. But there's another way of getting these gold coins is to use a golden lure module for a chance to get Gimmighoul coins. And as a word of that, basically, if you do a continuous 5-day streak of sending a postcard to Scarlet and Violet, then you get this gold lure, and you can put it on the Pokestop, and that will basically transform it into a gold Pokestop. There isn't much else to say apart from they have added stickers to the shop of Gimmighoul, the alien.
I don't know why you're laughing. It's amazing, man.
Yeah,
I don't know why
they're
you're taking the mick there,
they're
mate.
good stickers.
Yeah, this is probably the best part of the show so far, so I don't know what you're laughing at.
Yeah, so yeah, we've now got a Generation 9 Paldean Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Holucha, which is now a Mexican regional. It's the fighting flying type Pokemon. They say it's a Mexican regional. It's a bit like Klefki. Klefki is a French regional, but you can access it in parts of the southern area of the UK and Belgium, Holland, and bits of Germany. The area boundary for Holucha is actually quite big. We've seen people getting it in Texas and San Diego and a few other places dotted around, so it's quite a big block, but flying fighting birds now available, boys.
Looks like we're going to Mexico.
Wizard education.
And as if you haven't heard me talking enough in a long period of time, we've now got the new seasonal spawns. So within the cities, you will be able to find the following: Voltorb, Porygon, Togetic, Gardevoir, Purloin, Trubbish, and LGM, plus more. At least they all have shiny potential.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, talk about shiny, but I still can't believe Parasect. I still can't get
I know,
over
it's
that.
whack.
I still, mate, because I did mine today. I got a Furfur and I was like, are you kidding me? Anyway, moving on. If you are in forests, you are going to get Mankey and Shuckle. And unfortunately, mine will not be out because they're the only two that can be shiny. And ones that can't be shiny is going to be Executor, Stunfisk, Formantis, Morlul, and Zorua. Is that how do you say it? Zorua?
Yeah.
Zora, yeah.
Yeah, and more. So, yeah, a bit lacking on the shiny front, but it's decent.
I too got Furfru today, Coops, in my research.
Congrats.
As well. Well, we're so in sync, me and you, aren't we? Same day, same spawn. Oh, look at us.
We are.
We are. So, Mountains gets a bit of a better deal. I think Forest gets stitched up a little bit, but Mountains, all 7 of these can be shiny. Yeah, love that. Love for your equal playing field for everyone, whoever they are. But Aerodactyl, Snorlax, Whismur, Mawile, Aron, Medicham, and Woobat can all be shiny. That's pretty cool. And more.
And finally, Beach and Water, you have got the chance of getting Psyduck, Slowpoke, Mantine, and Frillish. They have the shiny potential. And the ones that can't are Goomy, Luminium, Hisui, and Quillfish, and more. So if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, these will be your spawns for this season, which is Skarmory, Swablu, Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott, Dino, and Coops' favourite Helioptile, and more.
Is this us? We're
Northern.
We're in the
Yeah,
Northern
we're Northern.
Hemisphere,
Yeah.
aren't we? But yeah.
Yes.
We're in Europe.
In that
We're
case, Helicopter. Yeah, it's Iceland in the southern jokes.
And if you are in the southern hemisphere, these will be your spawns: Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Larvitar, Alomomola, Stuffle. They can all be shiny, but Scraggy still can't at the time of recording, and more.
So we'll start with the 2 kilometre eggs. These are beautiful, aren't they? These 4 can be shiny, but there are more that probably can't be shiny. But anyway, the 2 kilometre ones that they're letting us know about are Bellsprout, Igglybuff, Trapinch, and Cottony.
Nice.
And the 5 kilometre eggs aren't actually that bad. You've got Machop, Gligar, and Bonsley, which can all be shiny, and and more.
Nice.
7 kilometre eggs you probably want to stay reasonably clear of because it's all the Hisuians still in there and they'd have no shiny potential. So Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Voltorb, Hisuian Quillfish, and Hisuian Sneasel.
And 10Ks are also somewhat shinyless this month, or this season, I should say. Tyrant, Amora, the Tojimaru, and Jangmo-O. So, no shiny potential there at all.
Nice.
Can I just say, who on earth, right? Tyrant, sick, well-deserved to be in 10k eggs. Amora, sick, well-deserved. You know, is it Zhang Mo? Who on earth?
Why is the
Todger there? Yeah.
Yeah, what? Do you know what we'll do? We'll throw the Todger to
Todger's in the 10k eggs.
There's going to be one that's more common than the other, and I can guarantee that 99% of the hatches you get will be the Todger.
And the Adventure Sync rewards, so the 5 kilometre eggs you'll be getting from that 7-day walking bonus thing will be Shinx, Cranidos, Shieldon, Happiny, and Male Frillish, and more. They can all be shiny. And the 10Ks. I feel like they've put all of the Pokemon that were in the 10Ks now into the 10 kilometre egg for the Adventure Sync. But anyway, you can find Dratini, Beldum, Gibble, Goomy, that can't be shiny, and Rockruff, plus a few more.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any better, unfortunately. I hate to sound negative, but the seasonal bonuses, they ain't giving us much this season. So, we are going to be getting increased damage dealt by Pokemon participate in raids remotely. Team Go Rocket will appear more frequently at Pokestops, and extra Stardust will be earned from Team Go Rocket encounters. That's it for this quarter.
Noise.
And Ian, I think it's mine and Marky's time. So come on, mate, play that. Well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome into the PvP dungeon. But yes, Go Battle League. This part is going to be all about PvP. So if you do not like PvP or you have no interest in PvP, maybe just skip forward about 2-3 minutes and we'll see you then. But this season has already started, so I hope you are off to a good start. This season's going to go all the way until the 1st of June. So this one's a fair few months. This is March, April, May. Yeah, it's over 3 months long. So, yeah, this is crazy. It's going to be a good one. If you look on the article on their website, they do have the breakdown of every single league, every single cup with all of the dates. There's no point me reading them out to you all because, one, we don't have time and two, you won't remember any of them. But it's basically the same format. The Great League with a nice cup, the Great League with another cup, then the Ultra League with a cup, then the Ultra League with another cup. That's kind of basically how the format sort of works. And then Master League after that, and then all of them, and then it goes back again to Great, Ultra and Master, and a bit like the season just gone, it will end on Master League. So if you're not great at Master League, make sure that you've hit Legend before the middle of May, because if you're at the 2008, 2900 ranking at the end of May and you don't like Master League, then you're probably not going to hit Legend. That's just a little bit of advice from me. Now, I'm going to let you all know the PvP community, from what I've seen on social media and from people's vlogs, is that people are really disappointed with this season. They really sort of wanted loads of new move changes. They wanted loads of, new updates, new things to it. And they haven't actually done that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you the attack availability update. So first of all, you've got the Pokemon Exploud, which is Whismur's evolution, if I'm correct. Now, Explode or Exploud, however you say it, will now be able to learn the charged attack Boom Burst, which is the one from the community day a few weeks ago. Flygon will also now be able to learn the charged attack Boom Burst, and Comma-O will also again be able to learn the charge attack boom burst. Now, on top of all of that, this is probably the best update. I know I've mentioned Homeslice Henry already, but he has done a video of this and it actually looks quite good. Whimsicott will now be able to learn the fast attack Fairy Wind. So that's going to be able to charge up really, really, really quickly. So I think that's a great update. Nice. And then lastly, this one's a little bit random, in my opinion, tiny little bit random. But Jellicent will now be able to learn the charged attack Serve. I don't know whether maybe Surf is just the move of the month of May with the slow community day. But yeah, that's a bit of a random one. Maybe Shadow Ball and Surf, maybe. I'm not really too sure there because I think Ice Beam and Shadow Ball made Jellicent really good. So yes, that's kind of like the moves. Maybe in the next season, come the summer, come July time, they really do add in some new moves and have a reshuffle because I know that's what people are complaining about, but who the hell knows?
Nice.
Go Battle Day, Parma. On Saturday, March the 25th from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Oh, God. Full day. They literally are giving you the full day. There are free battle-themed timed research will be available, and the rewards will include gloves inspired by Parma. Anyone who doesn't know who Parma is, so the main series games, that is Diamond, Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. There you go. Knock yourselves out with that. It's not that inspiring, is it really?
But Marky Boy, do remember that trainers who have already received the avatar item, so this is the gloves, this is the Parma inspired gloves. If you've already received them from hitting rank 20, which is also known as the Ace rank, you will not receive another pair. So I apologise. Don't think that if you hit Ace and then you do the Go Battle Day before March 25th, unfortunately, guys, only one pair of gloves. So, you can't sell them on eBay and get some coins. It will not work like that.
There's also going to be another Go Battle Day, and this one's called Stardust. I think everyone's a little bit more excited about this one. Sunday, May the 14th from 12 a.m. to 11:59, same time again. There'll be a paid, I say everyone might be interested, hold on here. There'll be a paid battle themed time research.
Marky, you'll switch up, man.
Put your wallet away. No, joking aside, actually, for $1, it looks like it could be quite good. There'll be a paid battle theme time research awarding increased Stardust, and that'll be available for $1 or the equivalent pricing tier in your local currency.
Nice.
Just to wrap this up, because literally Milo has literally fallen asleep. At Ace rank, you'll receive a top inspired by Parma. At Veteran rank, which is 2,500 points, you'll receive shoes inspired by Parma. At Expert, which is 2,750, you'll receive pants. And then at Legend rank, something which all three boys will never hit, you'll receive the pose inspired by Parma, which is actually a really, really, really cool pose. I quite like it. The costume gives me like Santa's elf kind of vibe. But yeah, nice. And of course, if you do get to rank 19, you're receiving the Elite Charge TM, and then you'll get an Elite Fast TM at the end of season. But yeah, that's June the 1st, so a while away. And let's wrap this up. Boys, wake up. Can we have an alarm clock sound effect?
Yeah, we can, and we'll wrap this up before we go into a game by saying that the week before, March the 21st through to March the 29th, there's going to be another Team Go Rocket takeover. So these are becoming quite regular now, one a season.
That's good, though. Gives us more chance to tear away frustration.
Yep. Milo, let's play your favourite game.
Flex it up, flex it up.
I'm hosting. It's you three against each other. That's what we're doing. Good old Flex It Up, the original game of the podcast. And this one's going to have a global Hoenn tour theme to it. So, a couple of rounds, we'll see if we need a tiebreaker or not. First up, I want to know, over that global tour weekend, how many shiny costume Pikachus did you get?
Oh, that's easy. I got one.
We've got one on the board for Ian.
Yeah, one on the board for me, mate.
One for Coopsy.
3 for me.
3 Pikachus.
Mark sweeps it. Jeez.
I thought you didn't play.
I didn't play, and I got 3.
Being in a van clearly is the way to go.
I think so. You need to either be in a van or be casual.
That's how it goes.
We'll get to that soon.
That's how it
or
goes.
casual in a van.
Casual in a van. Next up, tell me, if at all, how many shiny regionals you hatched.
1 this weekend for global.
For the global.
Yeah, just 1. Tropius.
Yes, I hatched 1 as well.
I hatched 0.
Oh, so it's 1-1-1.
We've got a tie there. Maybe this will sort it out. If at all, how many shiny Kecleon did you get?
I'm going to go last.
You know how many I got, Whitfield.
0.
Yeah.
0 for Marky, 0 for Ian.
I'll take the point. I actually got 2.
And not only 2, you got 2 within 5 minutes of each other.
Yeah, but I think it was a bit longer. It was like 6 minutes.
He's a cheeky
Something like that,
kid. It's a bit longer, Ian. 5.5 minutes. Get it right, yeah.
I genuinely didn't believe you when you got those. So, point to the casual.
Wait, have I won?
Yeah.
He's got a 2-1-1. So the casual. Oh my
Was
god.
that it? Oh, GG's.
It's my game. It's my game.
God, it's been a long time since that
It
one.
really has.
Boys, can I just say though, right? I'll be honest, yeah. Turned up at like 3 o'clock, played for 2 and a bit hours, sort of went home. I will just say, I had the maddest event ever, and I just want to talk about it, right? Because obviously, I know that you lot went all the way to Vegas, paid like 10 grand, went all the way there,
Only.
had to get time off work, etc., etc. And here's me, bop up to a park at 4 o'clock and get a shiny Kecleon, right? That's normally how the story goes. We all know that, right? But I got 2 shiny Kecleons. I got the new shiny Gulpin. I did pick the route, but I was buzzing with that. I got the shiny Pikachu, and I hatched a shiny Tropius, right? But listen to this. I did tweet this out, but this is a genuine story, and I swear on my mother's life, this is true. It got to about, it must have got to like really like late in the day. And I was like, do you know what? This was on the Sunday. So obviously I was with you guys on the Saturday. Yeah. On the Sunday, it got to like 5 o'clock. And I was like, you know what? Let me go out for an hour. Let me just hatch like a few of my eggs, get some spaces and collect these eggs. And that's exactly what I did. I think I had five or 6 spaces clear, and I only got 3 10Ks. So I think the drop rate is about 50%. I think I got 3 10Ks, like 2 5Ks and a 2K. So it was okay. 50% was all right. Anyway, I put them on. Obviously, Monday goes by. I think Tuesday goes by. And I think it was actually Tuesday lunchtime. Anyway, they find these 10Ks finally hatched. I thought, I've got 3 10Ks. I pressed the button, and I was not expecting to get anything from them. But boys, this is no word of a lie. No. My first egg, like my first 10K egg that I picked up from this Hoenn tour was the shiny Tropius. When my phone started shining, I literally was like, I nearly had a heart attack. Like I had to grab my thingy and like screenshot it. Now I know, like, you know, sometimes people hatch 200-300 eggs, but have you ever heard of anybody from their first egg hatching a shiny regional?
Not personally.
No, I'm sure there'll be somebody on Twitter, but I don't know of anyone directly that did.
I don't know how quickly Francesco hatched his shiny, whatever it was, Relicanth, I think, in Vegas. But like, yeah, getting one straight off the bat with your eggs is pretty nuts. And I think that's a testament to like the casual play style.
Mate, if I just said, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna do one like
you would
10K.
Still have got it. Yeah.
It would have been a shiny Tropius, which is mad. And also, my next 10K was a
bugger
off.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. And do you know something even better? I mean, this is terrible, but the 2K or the 5K, it was 100% Pichu.
That is some luck.
So out of 6 eggs, I got 1 shiny regional and 2 hundos. So I had a great event. I loved it. I loved seeing you lot. How was everybody's global tour compared to the very expensive Las Vegas one?
I probably would say, Ian might agree with me on this. I personally say, like, in terms of the event, I know we discussed it at length last week, but the event in Vegas is just sort of something on its own, quite special despite all of the hiccups and everything. You can't really, I know they're labelled under the same thing, but the play style, everything is very different.
Agreed.
What I would say, though, is as a free event, this global tour has got a lot of flack, in my view, and bad press when it didn't really deserve it, given that, as Coops has said, he's not going to bother buying what some people probably don't want to bother buying the Jirachi Masterwork research for a $5. So you got a full weekend of stuff for free. How much you raid and how much you hatch eggs is aside from that. That's entirely up to you. But I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as it's been made out to be. Certainly on the back of looking at how they did Johto and Kanto, those were 1 day, 12 hours, and we remember talking about how long 12-hour events actually are. You know, walking around in the winter here in the Northern Hemisphere, in parks, at late at night, dark, trying to play until 9 p.m. I think the 2-day structure was much better, and a free event is just a bit more inclusive. And yeah, I think that's an initial viewpoint on it, really.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you, Milo, because you can't compare the global to the Vegas in-person event. As you said, two totally different animals. The global event actually, really, when you boil it down to it, for something that is free, you can't really complain. The fact that you might get a shiny or hatch a shiny as Coops did, and you haven't paid any money out, it's something for nothing. Now, there has been a lot of chatter on Twitter that there should have been a paid ticket option to boost shiny rates. And you know what? I can see the value in that. But for something that was free, it was frustrating from a personal point of view. And I'm sure a lot of people that played it were frustrated. I know people didn't get many shinies and people felt that they should have got more shinies. But the event itself, the format, and I'll stress, for a free event, I can't really fault it. The shiny rates were low, but we knew that they weren't going to be boosted like Vegas, so you can't complain. Genuinely, you can't complain for what you got.
No, I do think, actually, and you made a good point, I do think the Global Tour missed a bit of a trick, and you know how we got add-ons for the eggs and the raids and stuff like that for Vegas. I think not a paid event, but maybe paid add-ons, because I know there were people who would have killed.
People would have
to
paid
have
for
the
like an egg hatcher
boost,
yeah.
Exactly. And given it was a lot of 10-kilometer egg hype, you and I had our egg boost carried over from Vegas. We discussed that. There were people who were taking 6.7 kilometers. It's actually quite a long time, and over a period of time over the weekend, that's a lot for children to actually try and walk off a 10k. So I do think they missed a trick in adding those add-ons, to a free event. That could have been something done better.
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't go to Vegas and I didn't play the event that much. So I think I sit between you, or similar to Coops, actually not playing it much either. The way I look at it is they missed a trick with the eggs, definitely. Because I went into this event going, listen, I'm not going to play much, but I'm going to stack my 10k eggs up on day one and then try and walk a bit of them off on day one. And then day two, walk them off and then stack another set up. And then maybe get another set. Didn't work like that. 6.7 kilometres is a long way to walk.
It is.
To hatch an egg. And the 2 kilometres and 5 dropped as much as the 10. So actually, when you deep dive it, I only hatched, I think, 12 10k eggs over the whole weekend, how it all worked out. So, and I had a bit like Coops was hoping for a bit of luck with those eggs. Didn't happen. But hey, that didn't matter. I think they missed a trick with the ticketed bit. I said that before, but I thought they might do that because why wouldn't they? But hey, those regionals, people get them more in those areas now. A bit like with our regionals, we've got the shinies. It's just more shiny regional variations for different parts of the world, and there'll be people stacking these up where they live in the future, which is nice. And I think they'll come back in eggs again. I think they'll do soon with those. Now, I didn't play the event that much, like we said. Day one, I played it 45 minutes. Obviously, real world and all that, moving, etc., etc. And I got what I deserved. I got my shiny Phoebus on day one. So, 45 minutes, shiny Phoebus.
Smashing.
Ironically, the hour,
Nice.
or the 45 minutes I did play was the rubbish hour. The one which didn't really mean anything. Yeah. But I got one. So... And this is something I wanted to talk about because they said that the shiny rates weren't boosted. They must have been boosted slightly because they're 400 to 1 normally.
I think they said some spawns would be boosted, but they didn't specify which ones.
You're right, Ian, they did. So, absolutely right. So, Phoebus must have been boosted.
Yes.
Based on that. So, day two. And I was working again for the first rotation of all the habitats, so I didn't play half of day two, but I did play the second half of day two, and I went down the Cacnea route because I like the Cacnea shiny.
Likewise.
They're all good shinies.
All three were good shinies.
And I realised that as a remote, also as the global event, your Incensed was manipulated a bit of the pathway you picked, so you would get that one throughout whichever hour you were playing. So I thought, I like Cacnea, they'll go with it. How did I do on day two? In terms of shinies, I got 7 shinies on day two, and I played 3.5 hours of day two, so I think that was good. I got the 3 Pikachus. One of them was in the research, which was nice. I haven't had a shiny in the research for a long time, so that was quite nice to get that. I got my second shiny Phoebus, which was beautiful. One on each day.
They do exist.
Always a nice thing. They do exist. I got a shiny Beldum, which was ranked 7 in GBL, so I was happy with that, with my shiny Beldum.
Neat.
And I got a shiny Groudon on the raid, which was lovely. My first one since Dortmund, so that was quite a nice moment. I enjoyed that. But then I went absolute. It was the clutch catch on the end of day 2, and it got to 10-6 back at home on my Incense, and at 5-6, my last spawn, shiny Cacnea.
Sweet.
That is clutching it in, jeez.
Which was clutch. And actually, the day after Global Home Tour, I got my shiny Gulpin. So that was lovely as well. So even though that wasn't during the event, I got that the day after the event. So I played 3.5 hours, and I got, what was that? Like I say, 7 shinies. So
that's not bad.
I was over the moon with that.
That's not bad. I played the entirety of the event with the exception of 1 hour. I ducked an hour early on the Saturday, and across the 2 days, I got 12 shinies. So Sunday was a better day for me than Saturday by a long way.
And did you need anything in? Because I know you obviously played various communities. Was there any you needed?
What I needed, I didn't get. I needed the nose pass and I needed a Gulpin, and I didn't get either of those.
Did anyone get any unknowns on the Global?
I didn't. I don't know if Milo or Coops did.
No, I didn't get an unknown.
No.
They spawned a lot though, didn't they?
They were good. They were good coming off of Incense. I think the Incense, our part of the Hoenn Tour, was probably one of the better factors because it was constant, either the research-specific mon that you chose, as Mark said. Unknown was spawning continuously, the 4 unknown that were available, and then the different costume Pikachus that seemed to cycle every hour.
Yeah, they do seem to have perfected it back compared to previous tours and indeed global Go Fests. What was spawning on the Incense did seem to be more relevant to what should have been spawning.
Yes, definitely, because beforehand we were getting absolute rubbish of whatever happened to be spawning in the biome. I think that's always been the biggest complaints, was the fact that these global events, like the Global Go Fest and the Johto Tour, Kanto Tour, the unknowns have always been very, very elusive. I mean, we didn't get shinies, but I did see some people get shinies of them, so it's still quite a rare shiny to get on the Global Hoenn Tour weekend. But at least you weren't wanting for trying to catch them, I would say.
Exactly,
they were spawning reasonably regularly. In terms of the shiny boosts, I think what was boosted was the mon that you chose for the research. So if you chose Gulpin, you got more Gulpin.
I think you got more spawns, but I don't think there were shinies were boosted, were they? Because I must have tapped on hundreds of them.
No.
I saw some people getting north of 10 of whatever the mon was that they chose through the research.
That was broken then, because I didn't get a single one.
Individual person's RNG is a bit crazy, but I think, and I'd be interested to know, how was everyone's shiny luck on things like Lunatone, Solrock, and those specific pools of Pokemon, you know, the plus or minus?
I did get one shiny Lunatone, but no shiny Solrock.
And the cast forms as well.
And I didn't get any shiny cast forms this weekend.
Interesting.
Not to repeat myself, but I literally got no other shinies apart from...
You got the best shinies, didn't you? Literally.
Apart from Kecleon. I literally got 2 Kecleon, a Gulpin, and the Pikachu, which is very weird. They're literally the event spawns, and I didn't get any crappy Lunatone.
Yeah.
I was
Neither did I.
Very lucky. And I'm not just saying this, but just to kind of wrap up for me how I feel, because you know what shinies I got. I said about the eggs. I had a good experience, but listening to what you've said, Milo, you kind of smashed it earlier, and I think you make such a valid point. I feel like even though I played casually for 3 hours on the Saturday and an hour and a half on the Sunday, like I really enjoyed it. But I feel like if you are out for 15 hours on the Saturday and 15 hours on the Sunday, it is going to feel boring. Like it is going to feel boring. And if you don't hatch any regional shinies, it's going to feel like a waste of time. It's the game. It's how it works. So it's kind of like, to go off your point, I think you've absolutely smashed it. And I do not think this global Hoenn Tour deserved any negativity, in my opinion. Absolutely none. And I think to all the people that were moaning and saying, oh, this, that, and the other, it's, do anything for 30 hours, you're going to be bored.
I think the problem was people had expectations of getting shinies off the event, even though Niantic were quite clear in that.
There's a very good point. Yeah. That's a very good point, because unlike other events, maybe if this was the first time they'd done a Go Tour event, we wouldn't have anything to compare it to. It would be kind of, you're complaining about individual aspects of it, but because we've had Johto and Kanto, which were big shiny boosts for one do or die 12-hour grind
events as well.
They were pay ticket. Well, Johto Tour was what, £12 or something
like that. It wasn't
I believe
cheap.
As a £12 ticket, so that's more than 2 Meltan research things. They got a lot of hype and were very heavily pushed. It became almost like a Go Fest. It was like the beginning of the year Go Fest. You have a Go Tour event celebrating this region. They shifted a lot of stuff to Vegas for the live event and trying to make that kind of like the hype, and then the global tour spreading over 2 days. There was nothing different with the 2 days. The 2 days were absolutely identical. The biomes were the same on the rotations, the spawns were the same, the raids were the same. So Coops is right. If you do something for a weekend, it might get a bit repetitive.
And I genuinely would be saying this if I didn't, for example, hatch the shiny regional. I would be saying this. I thought it was a really good event, and I don't think it's Niantic's fault that, as we've discussed before, the region is in general is a little bit meh.
And I think this is the problem in that everybody's seen what happened in the Vegas events, and people are naturally comparing the two, when realistically you should separate them, compare and contrast, because they are two totally separate events around the same generation.
Absolutely, Ian. For me, I can't think of anything better than getting the community together, and these events draw the community out together. I said before, the premium experience should have gone to the people that went to Vegas. If you're going to replay the event afterwards in a different format, it has to be different. Otherwise, credibility for future events and an appetite for them will potentially be harmed, or it might be sort of compromised slightly. Some people will always pay the money for it, and people are allowed to do that. Yeah. It's totally up to each person how they play it. But for me, the big aspect was getting people together and watching you guys, watching the vlogs you put together, seeing all the good friends, the family, the Pokemon family coming together.
Yeah.
Hoenn Global Tour created that. That is what the event brought together. And like you said, unfortunately, Pokemon Go has devalued a shiny Pokemon. We know how it works. People play the game because they're chasing it. That's what the appeal to the game is. Let's be honest. That's what people want to do. You play the main series games, you'll be playing it for a year and a half, 2 years, trying to find the shiny that you want, and you might never find it. Pokemon Go has kind of changed that, and people will look at it from previous experiences. Like you said, this was very different, and people forget that. It was free. It was a chance to get people together, and do you know what? Anything you get which is new is, and people might not shout it from the rooftops, is a success. It got far more criticism than it deserved. It really did. Like, I was playing it completely differently to you guys, and I enjoyed it. And like you said, Hoenn, unfortunately, didn't have a lot left to give in it, but what it did have left to give were decent. I think their expectations was slightly probably in the wrong place for this event.
Yeah, I do wonder if people were more focused on the event spawns, because actually thinking back to Johto and Kanto, do you remember we used to have collection challenges coming out of our ears, including evolving the entire Pokédex? Thank God that wasn't a part of this Hoenn Tour event.
Yeah.
So some interesting opinions in. I think we're all kind of on the same page, but we did reach out to the Incensed community to find out what their thoughts were. So we tweeted out the other day, with the global Hoenn Tour now over, what are your thoughts and feelings about it? And we got a good sort of couple of dozen replies on there. So let's just have a quick look at a couple of those. So I'll start. Friend of the show, Cowboy Hat Caterpie, said, I have a root canal scheduled Thursday. That will probably enjoy more. Ghastly Girl said, I set my expectations so low, I met mine. That being said, this was easily the least fun out of the 3 tours for me, and I really hope they greatly improve next year.
I'm going to pick a couple here. One's from Ranger Majin, who says, I'll be honest, I had a pretty good time. Mostly due to our local group, but I like the rotating spawns and raids. The wild lats were cool. I would have liked some more bonuses, but the global event was free, so overall good. Rudax tweeted, for a free event, it was really good. I'd be interested to know, would most pay for more boosted shinies and bonuses like the Vegas event? And that's a bit of a question there. And someone responded off the bat, Vengeance just said, yeah, I would.
I think people would have paid for them, actually. I think people would have paid a ticket if they got more bonuses.
I think a lot of people would, genuinely. Magpie Malcolm has said, either make it a raid day or a catch day. The catches were lackluster and the raids were hard with minimal rewards. Tier 6 difficulty, but almost Tier 3 rewards. Yeah, you're not wrong, the raid rewards were shockingly bad, actually.
And people were struggling to catch them as well.
Was really the one. Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, you had 2 run on you, didn't you, actually, on the Saturday?
Yep, and David Robertson says, more of a chore than an event, and if the raids are that brutal, at least give us decent amount of potions and revives.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add on, actually. Who said that, Milo?
David Robertson.
I would agree with David. I cannot wait for just normal Groudon and Kyogre to come back, because those primals, like, I did one of them with 7 people. And
Yes.
I'm talking
They were
3
tough.
seconds to go.
Especially Kyogre.
Like
yeah.
if they are gonna like implement stuff like this, you need to change to invite 5 to 10 or even 15. Like it's ridiculous because if I went to a raid by myself and invited 5 friends and all 5 joined with 6 people, we might not have been able to even bloody do.
Yeah.
How does that even make sense? That makes no sense whatsoever. They're all about inclusivity and, you know, trainers of all levels. Yeah, very weird, but we can talk about that another time. So I've got one here from Pen Pal Simon. Was completely bladdered throughout the whole entire event, so no idea what happened. I really need to go to rehab after that weekend. Could have beat a Guzzlord and a Gulpin in a drinking contest.
Nice.
And then one here from Sea Princess HNB. I find it hard to figure out Niantic's goals. They say they want to encourage community play, but they don't give an incentive for the community to play together. So many people played 1 or 2 hours, got bored and bounced. Do they know they catch more flies with honey?
And it's true, isn't it? It really is true.
It is.
So looking at those sort of feedback quotes there, I'd say it's probably 75% were fairly kind of on the negative side, and maybe 25%. Well, yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is understandable. But Mark, looking outside your window, what's that I can see? Is that
Masterful?
Ian, it's a new window now. Well, it might be your window, actually. I can't see my own pole through my window. That'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? Majestic.
That'd be concerning.
It's your rising hero.
Oh, I like it.
I like that. New season.
The rising hero.
So the question was a great question at the beginning. I do like the getting to know you questions. We've done over 100 of them, haven't we? Now sometimes it's hard to find
108.
What else we get there. So which of these countries would you like to visit? And again, no context on it. Before we read the results, we'll go to some of the responses very quickly. Shan's put on it, okay, so someone's obsessed with Grim the Finnish Lappen from Svalbard on TikTok like me. That's who I was on about. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Also disappointed that Masterful 27 didn't suggest Australia. Come on, mate. Spindiana said, husband and I honeymooned in Rome. Would love to go again and see more of the country. Reviews from the tub. Mark's poll is really getting around the EU. I assume they're all in the EU. I'm an American and have no concept of foreign affairs. I do love Chinese food, though. I love our listeners. I love our listeners. Iron Pyrus has said, road trip in Italy ready?
Yes, Francesco.
A little gif of an Italian man going, mamma mia. Yeah, Sue's put HermesNinja. How can I vote against visiting the home of the Italian tripod? Italy for the win.
Nice.
And I'm going to put this one on. Raiders United has also tweeted, what's so good about Iceland? What am I missing out on? Isn't it basically a huge refrigerator?
Very akin to farm foods.
Oh dear goodness gracious. And also Nakeem Brown's got a bit of a vendetta against Iceland from what I can see. He says, Iceland because I want to stand on the summit of the volcano that ruined my holiday trip to Greece with his relentless ash.
Oh, that was a callback. Yeah.
Well done,
Nice.
Nakeem. So we're going to start in reverse order. We asked our listeners on Twitter, our followers on Twitter I should say, what they would go for. We had 112 votes.
That's not bad for an hour.
People on the poll.
Wow, Mark, that's
We
actually
had
good.
17 retweets.
Ooh.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So, in fourth place, with 5% of the vote, Romania.
It's all right.
In third place, with 15%, was Svalbard. I did put in brackets, Google it.
Google it.
So
You're making them work.
It was Svalbard. I am.
Got you a podium spot.
I had a Norwegian flag next to it as well. I put the flags next to all the options, so it was close. In second
Between
place,
Coops and me.
with 36% of the vote, Iceland.
Nice.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Which means with 44% of the vote, and the dub tonight goes to Mr. Ian with Italy.
So who's coming to Italy with
It's
me
a
then,
great
boys?
win. Italy's a...
Stelvio passes in Italy, so yes,
Yes,
let's do it.
some good driving roads.
Exactly.
So, we are heading towards the end of tonight's show. And of course, we couldn't end it without everyone's favourite
Shines of the week.
Yes, so I'll jump in first. I've got one here from Vape Jesus 17. Oh, I apologise. That might be Vape Jesus. I apologise if I got that wrong. At Incensed Podcast, hashtag Shinies of the Week. During the Carnival, is it El Habela, an island close to Sao Paulo, Brazil, I hatched a shiny Smoochum, that I directly evolved into Jinx. I couldn't but notice the clear resemblance between the Pokemon and some people in my near vicinity. So yeah, that's awesome. Got a shiny Smoochum. Mad.
I'll go next. Kels Langers has messaged in, and she gave Marky a run for his money. Trolled by shiny Pikachu in Hoenn Tour. Laughing emoji. Hashtag Shiny of the Week. Hashtag Pogo. Hashtag Pokemon Go. Hashtag Shiny Pokemon. 8. Yes, 8 of the event Pikas, and a good sort of mix. Mainly, actually, the bow one.
The bow and the beanie.
Yeah, only 2 of the beanie, but 6 bow Pikachu.
Smashed
Wow.
it.
Mad.
I'll give a shout out to somebody who was also with us for the global tour on the Saturday. Dell Hazard X actually saying thanks for the shout out on the podcast at PoGoMiloUK, retweeting from 107. Everyone go and listen and pop an incense. You may be as lucky as me, though it was hatched, but it still counts, and it is shiny Relicanth.
Definitely.
Sick shiny. Yeah, amazing shiny.
So this one, this is a stack of shinies if ever I saw them, but EMLF 2022 has tweeted us and said, didn't have high expectations for today, but I am chuffed with this bunch. Hashtag shinies for the week. In no particular order, Shiny Spoink, Shiny Lunatone, Shiny Welmer, Shiny Pikachu with the bow, Shiny Zangoose, Shiny Gulpin, Shiny Phoebus, Shiny Gulpin, Shiny Viper, and Shiny Pikachu with the bow again.
Wow.
Lovely
And
little
breathe.
collection there.
Wait, is that
10 shinies.
Is that from the weekend?
That was from Hoenn Global.
Wow, GG's. So thank you to everyone for sending in your Shinies of the Week. And don't forget, you can also send us a voice message through WhatsApp. And that voicemail can be anything. And we have actually had a few texts through WhatsApp asking how to send voice messages through WhatsApp. So, Coops, do you want to give them a quick rundown of how to send a voice message through WhatsApp?
Mr. Voice Note.
Yeah, I can do. So if you click on, obviously, when you type in our number and you click on our chat, on the bottom right-hand side, there should look like a little microphone. And all you do is you just hold that button down and then you release it after you've sent the voice note. And if you want to, when you're holding it down, if you swipe up, you'll see that it actually locks the voice note. Then you can let go of the screen, continue, record. Incensed Podcast, you're amazing. I love you. You're the best Pokemon Go podcast in the world. Whatever you want to say, all the best things, then you just literally press the blue button. And I apologise if you have an Android. First of all, you shouldn't have one. I've got no idea if voice notes work the same.
Shut up, you idiot. They work exactly the same.
So it's dead simple. It's dead simple. So please do that for us. And you'll need the number. So for the voice messages in WhatsApp, do not call us. We won't answer. Do not text us. We won't reply. But if you do send us a voice message, it will be played in the show. And that number is
Nice.
+44 7592 695696. Now, we'd like to thank you all for listening. And if you are new here, welcome. We did meet a few new people in Vegas, so if you're listening for the first time, thank you for being here. But we'd truly like to thank everyone that supports the show through our Patreon. So if you are on the bronze or silver tiers, thank you very much from all 4 of us. However, if you are on the gold tier, then we honestly can't thank you enough. And a lot of you gold tier members are actually on our YouTube live streams. That's one of the perks of being a gold member. You can actually listen to the train wreck that is the live recordings before we edit it nicely into the normal show. And to our gold tier patrons, we call you out by name. So HermesNinja, JB, CliffordMert, DerbyRuss, Kerry and Zachary, Connolly, Dom the Ragnarok, ML Folk 2022, Apex_187, Professor 58, KTechnogal, and MUFTi. Thank you so much. It's you guys that allow us to make this show to the quality that we want. And it also helps us being able to get to live events as well, because we do reinvest the money we get from the Patreon back into the show in one way, shape or form. And if you'd like to join the Patreon, we have tiers starting at £1.50. Just find us at patreon.com/Incensed Podcast. And finally, if you haven't hit that plus button, the follow button, or giving us a 5-star review, it's dead simple to do so. So literally just do that for us. Coops will sleep well at night. And I believe you've got some news for us, Coops.
I'm not
No?
talking about it. I can't.
Did we drop that back down again?
I'm not talking about it. I said that. I'm not talking about it.
Okay, 5-star reviews on Spotify, because Coops is literally, he was so ecstatic the other day when we hit 5 stars, but it looks like we may have fell back down to 4.9.
For literally about 20 minutes.
Guys, good news.
What?
It's EV Spotlight Hour next Tuesday on March the 7th.
And on that terrible disappointment, we'll catch you next week.
I choose you!